Hello everyone, let me know if you are on and can hear and see me. For whatever reason, StreamYard has screwed up the last couple times and mixed up the start times on the events, and I don't understand why, but it is what it is. The hero says waiting, Shannon says me too, Kelvin says hello everyone, Shannon says hello Kelvin and the hero. Alright, Jessica says hello. Today, giveaway pizza equal no. Somebody says chef's kiss, I think is what that's called. Somebody says hello. Alright, let's, in just a second we will do our typical legit merch giveaway, but before we do that, let's, Jesus. In just a second we will do our, let me go ahead and annoy some people. I think I already did an everyone there, so let me use my alternate profile here. Keith, let's see. Natch says hello. Hello, Natch. Keith says hello. Looking forward to today's stream. Shafat says hi, Chris. Adrian, what's up, Adrian? Says I can hear you. And I'm just going to go do a couple of everyone's to get everyone nice and mad at me. Jim says yes, chef. Kiss, stupid patient. Kaiser says hello. Who's here? Looking sharp as always. Boss, just trying to follow your lead. Louis says hey. Judah says hi there, Chris. I've been waiting for this. Munari says who's here. I already said that. Looking good. We can hear you. Thank you. And I got one more thing to do. And then we'll get into our legit merch giveaway. Bump. Oh, you know what else I can do is I can go to the Superstar SEO Facebook page and do a @followers. Wanjiku says hello. Hello, Wanjiku. Somebody on Facebook says hi. You know what, while I'm doing this last thing, why don't you guys, if they want to take place in the contest I'm going to have in just a minute, go to streamyard.com/Facebook. And that will, if you want to participate in the contest in your group and you want your name to show up, you're going to have to do that to authorize StreamYard. I wish there were a way around that, but there's not. That's interesting. It didn't cross post to my page. Challenge accepted. Yes. Alright, one last thing and then you will have my complete focus. What is this? This is a live stream. It's a technology that allows you to stream while live. I'm sorry, whoever that was. I'm being a bit of a smart ass. We're going to be talking about how to start a digital marketing agency in 30 days today. That's probably somebody that's like in one of the groups and doesn't know how the everyone works or will get triggered or whatever. I could be wrong, and if I am, I apologize. Israel says, let's fucking go. Oh, why is there? Yep, figure. go ahead and get rid of Paul Maria Bugraff. I guess the reason I'm in a room full of toys is the same reason you have to share a Facebook with your wife. See you later, Paul and Maria. It might be Maria for all we know. Seems like she probably calls the shots. All right, now I'm going to confirm that you're gone, so you can't say anything. See you, Paul. Shamina says, nice to hear you. Thank you, Shamina. Mubasher says, hello, Chris. Hello, Mubasher. Always a pleasure, my friend. All right, let's get our legit merch on, shall we? You. Let's see if I can remember how it works. Is it tree? All right, let's go ahead and share our screen. Can everybody see that okay? Please let me know. Anybody? Yes? No? Yep, all right. All right, somebody says, thanks for putting this on. Thank you, whoever that is. All right, so you can see we have a new legit merch store with all sorts of purple. You can find that at, and eventually it'll be at the original URL. I just haven't gotten around to that yet, but you can find it at legit.creator-spring.com. I'll drop that in the chat. And in just a minute, we are gonna do a giveaway for whatever piece of merch you like. And you can see there's plenty of options on here. There's a sticker, a white t-shirt, I guess a water bottle, a hoodie. I like zippered hoodies though. A women's tank top, a fanny pack if you are the Rock in the 1990s, a desk mat, that's kind of cool. A toddler t-shirt, you get it. You don't need me to read all of them to you. Adrian's like, I see the screen for fuck's sake. He's like, you don't need to read them all to me. Yeah, I don't know why I do that. Sorry about that. Anyhow, let's go ahead and quick reminder, if you are in a Facebook group and you don't know, or you don't show up, like you show up like this person, Facebook that I banned because he's a tool. If you should show up like that, just go to StreamYard.com/Facebook to authorize. And then we're going to do a giveaway of the legit merch of your choice. And let's go, what is this? StreamYard.com/giveaway. And we'll choose this stream and we're going to put in 30. So the way this is going to work is in just a second, I'm going to tell you to type the word, well, I guess it's the numbers 30. And we'll let it go for 5 minutes or so, and then we'll let the software pick a winner, and the winner will get the legit merchandise of their choice. So let's roll. So just go ahead and type 30 in wherever you're watching this, in the comments, in the chat, whatever. If we got anybody on LinkedIn, which I think it didn't work on LinkedIn. It does, but it doesn't show me who's on. There we go. Lots and lots of people saying 30. People want that new purple legit merch. There aren't too many people that have those, so you will be a trend setter. What's up, Kyle? Kyle had a birthday recently, if I remember correctly. And I usually do. Freelance gigs, put in their 30. Lots and lots of 30s coming in. Wish I was still in my 30s. Actually, no, I don't. All right, we're gonna let this go till 4:14 Eastern. And in the meantime, probably just going to keep rambling so there's not any dead air. But for those of you that may just randomly have tuned in, or maybe you just got the email or YouTube was nice enough to share this around for you, this is what we're guessing for right now. Well, not guessing, but what we're competing for right now is some legit merch. Kyle double dip in there. Good for you, my friend. So you'll be able to pick whatever piece of merch you want. I don't even have any of these except for the t-shirt. So, ooh, they do have a zipper hoodie. I'm going to get one of those myself. Hey. All right, we got about 20 people. It'd be awesome if we could get to 30 people saying 30. Antoinette, that's a very pretty name. All right, we got about less than 3 minutes left for your chance at some legit merch, and then we're going to get into it. Today's stream is going to be kind of fast-paced, I think, because that's kind of the point. But it's going to be worth it, in my opinion. Although it's going to make some of you uncomfortable and unhappy, if I'm being perfectly honest. But it's for your own growth. All right, we got less than 2 minutes remaining, and we are up to 23 people now out of the 45 or so that are on. 25 of them are, well, 28 amongst 2 YouTube channels, 5 in the Superstar SEO group, 8 on my personal page, 2 in the Legit Agency Owner group, 3 in the Legit group, and none on my business page, and 3 in the Superstar SEO group. Assuming that these are right, which I doubt that they are. Aesthetic Vibes, throwing M30s in there. Maybe he's a Gen Z and wants to bang 30s. I think I got that right. Or maybe it's 40s. I don't know. I should stop trying to be cool. All right, less than a minute remaining. And then we will pick a winner. And then we will get into it. I need these things so I can use my keyboard and get you even better sound. Few seconds left. If you haven't guessed, now is the time. Looks like it's the same handful of people over and over again, so I'm just going to give it another second or two, and then we're going to wrap it up and pick our winner. Few more seconds. And time. Let's go ahead and choose our winner. Ha! Kathy is our winner. Congratulations, Kathy. I think you know how to get a hold of me. I wish I could tell you why I'm laughing. I think you know how to get a hold of me, so just message me and I will take care of that for you. So congratulations to our winner, Kathy. And let me stop sharing my screen for just a moment and send that over to support. All right, you can stop saying 30 now. All right, let me bring up the presentation and we'll get started. From the beginning. Minimize. IBM SEO says he's a top 10. Thank you, IBM SEO. I believe that's IBM SEO. If not, forgive me. All right, so today's stream is called the Agency Jumpstart. It's going to be how you can start a digital marketing agency in 30 days or less, probably less. So why I want to make the point that the main thing that I want you to take away from this is that you need to just start and get to work. Like, I want you to work hard. I want you to do this quickly. I don't want you to get caught in your head. I don't want you to worry about things. I don't want you to, whatever. I want you to shut up and get to work. So that's kind of why I put this quote here from Les Brown that I borrowed from the internet that says, you must be willing to do the things others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. So I read that wrong, but you can read it for me, and it's from AZ Quotes apparently. Another one I like is from season 2 of Arrow, where Sarah Lance says to Oliver Queen that in order to achieve the unthinkable, you have to be willing to do the unthinkable. So what I'm going to talk to you about today may seem a little bit unthinkable at first. Black screen on Facebook. That's probably not true. Just try to refresh or something, because let me make sure, but I really don't think that's the case. No, it's not a black screen. So just refresh or something now. Okay, cool. Anyway, to achieve the unthinkable, you need to be willing to do the unthinkable. And what I'm going to talk to you about today may seem unachievable and unthinkable, but the only way it's going to happen is if you get out there and get it done. And I promise you, if you do the things I tell you to do, you will start to see success by October 1st. And that is going to be my challenge to you. Okay, aesthetics vibes, appreciate it, maybe just stop. That's going to be my challenge to you for this stream, is to implement everything that I talk about today and have it ready to go by October 1st. It's currently August 30th. That gives you tomorrow, the rest of today, all of tomorrow, then all of September to get started. So that is the challenge I'm going to have for you today, and we'll come back to that at the end. But I wanted to start with a quote like that. So let's get going. So this is the rundown of what we're going to talk about. There's actually a fourth bullet that I forgot to list there, but just get started, things you have to do, and then additional things and optional things that you need to do, and then kind of where do you go from there. So that's going to be the agenda. I don't want to spend any time on that because I think it's straightforward. So step number 1 is just fucking start. And there goes my monetization, but it's worth it because I want to emphasize this point that more so than anything else, this is what you need to do. You need to just get out there and start. Well, we'll get into that in a second, but this is where I see people get tripped up all the time. It takes them forever to pull the trigger and start getting the reps in, as Alex Hormozy says, and just doing the work. I know that that's cliche and it's hustle culture nonsense, but it's true. Like, if you aren't where you want to be, then you are never going to get there until you get started. So just stop whatever bullshit excuse you have and get started. You may have, and these are kind of the things that I often hear. I have to take my kids to soccer or whatever. I'm glad that you love your kids, but you also want to build them a better life. And I assume that if you want to start an agency, that you want to it's because you want to make more money to have better things. So get somebody else to take them to soccer once in a while or whatever. But tell them that sometimes that as an adult, we have to work a little bit harder. Dude, stop with the legit questions. Come on. You have to work a little bit harder. So that's it. I'm too busy. No, you're not. I guarantee you that and we'll cover this later, but there is an hour or 2 a day that you can shave off. Everybody has 24, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm afraid what my friends and family will think. This is one that I see a lot too. It's because they know you the way you are, and they don't necessarily see you there. Maybe it's out of a place of goodness, but intentions don't matter, actions do. And if they're telling you that it's a bad idea or you're afraid of what they're going to think, just do it anyway. Like, I guarantee you, once you're a success, they'll be fine with it. So don't let other people's opinions stop you, because they will not stop for yours. I won't be able to go out on Saturday night or whatever it is for you. Yeah, that sucks. But sometimes you have to sacrifice a little bit of pleasure for a lot of happiness. And that's what I'm going to ask you to do today. So you get the idea, right? These are some of the excuses. And then some of the others are more related to what we're talking about. I don't know what to sell. I'm going to cover that very briefly today, but just don't think about it too much. Just pick something and do whatever. The economy is bad. Stop watching the news and start doing the work. There's the same amount of money in the economy. In fact, there's a lot more money in the economy than there ever has been. So don't let that be the excuse for why you don't do anything. It's saturated is another lazy excuse that people that don't want to get started make. Until there's no businesses left that need marketing, it's not saturated. So it just means you're going to have to work a little bit harder. I don't know how to do anything, and that is a legitimate objection, but it shouldn't stop you either. You should we're going to cover where you should do this, but you should learn and you should meet people and do things so you start building up a tool set. If you have no skills whatsoever, you do need to learn some skills to be successful in life. I'm afraid to sell. Yeah, so is everybody else. Get over it, frankly. The way you get over being afraid of something is doing it over and over again. You want to know how you get over it, being afraid of getting hit in the face, is you get hit in the face. So just pick up the phone and start dialing. These are some other excuses that do not fly with me. So just get to work. Now, I talked about how you can sacrifice an hour a day. Examine your life and figure out where you're wasting an hour a day, and I guarantee you that you are. If you're not, then you get up an hour earlier or stay up an hour later or both. I don't have an hour. Yes, you do. There are 24 hours in a day, and you have 24 hours in a day, just like everybody else. And that means that if somebody else is doing it and you aren't, that means that you don't value that particular thing as much as they do. So you aren't that special that you can't figure out a way to work an hour into every single day to build towards something that you claim that you want. Get up earlier, stay up later, skip lunch. Tell your kids they have to go without ballet lessons for a little while. Something. But figure out an hour or two a day where you can put in to make this work for yourself. If you want it, you find a way. And if you can't find a way, then you don't really want it. And again, I know this is hustle culture and I'm being harsh and all that, but you can disagree with this, or not. Please stop saying 30. You can disagree with this or get triggered all you want, but I'm still right, whether that makes you sad or not. And I'm sorry again to be so harsh, but that's the case. So just moving on. Again, I know this is kind of mindset and all this stuff, but this is the biggest obstacle. It's not going to be the things that you actually have to do. It's having to just do them that's going to get most of you stopped. I've had calls with people where I gave them some advice, and then I'd had calls with them months later and they still hadn't done anything, and they still want to know how they can get there. I was like, so go back and watch what we talked about before and do that. That's still the answer. So anyway, moving right along. Now, let's get into the specific things that you have to have. And this list is going to actually be quite small, because one of the brilliant things about where we are in society is that it doesn't take a lot to make something like this work, or at least to get started with it. So that's where these are going to be the very few things that you absolutely have to have to make a digital marketing agency work. So almost nothing. That's the beauty of a marketing agency. Like I just said, you need a computer, whether it's a laptop or a desktop or a Tinker Toy that I like to call them as a Mac. You need a phone, whether it's a cell phone, a burner phone, a flip phone, a Zach Morris phone, whatever it is. You need a telephone, preferably a smartphone, but you can make do if you have to. Internet access, whether that's at your home or your job, because I used to do a lot at my job too. Not, don't get yourself fired, but be creative. Or whether it's at, Starbucks, I think they still do that. You get the idea. An idea of what you want to sell. You don't have to be 100% on this, but you do have to have some general idea of what service you want to sell, whether it's web design, ads, PPC, social media, SEO, whatever it is. You just have to have some idea of what you're going to sell, because you have to know what you're going to sell in order to sell it. You need a way for people to pay you, and we'll cover those in a minute. You need some knowledge of how to do the thing you sell, or someone that can do it for you. And you need to have a vague idea of who you want to sell to. So let's cover some of these in specifics. This, I think, is pretty straightforward. A computer, a phone, and internet access. Most places you only have one or two ISPs, so just pick one and get set up. Go buy a phone and a computer at Best Buy, and you're good to go. You can have all of this done in a few hours, and that's on day one. So most of you probably already have this. I just figured I'd mention it in case, whatever. I'm assuming that that people in the future will not necessarily, that see this will not necessarily know, So if you're watching this, you likely already know what you want to sell. You probably already know a little bit about, probably SEO if you're watching this, but it could be, ads, it could be PPC, it could be web design, it could be social media. Just, you need to have some sort of idea of what you want to sell. And here are a few options. You can get Facebook or TikTok or what other types of social media ads, and run ads for businesses to help them get leads and sales. Please stop saying 30. This could be local businesses, it could be e-commerce, it could be coaches, consultants, whatever. Just learn how to do ads and run them for people in exchange for money. PPC is basically the same thing. It's just a slightly different type of ad. You run Google, Bing, and other PPC ads for businesses. Social media management is where you create social media content and help businesses grow their social media. I'm actually looking for somebody right now. SEO is search engine optimization, where you should make websites and other properties show up higher in search engines like Google. Other ones I didn't mention are copywriting, where you write persuasive sales copy for businesses to help them sell their products and services. There's content writing, which is less persuasive and more informative type of content. There's web design, which is where you design and create websites for people. I know people that are very successful at that. And there's a ton of others. And if you are unsure of what to sell and you need ideas, just go over to legit.com and look at the different categories that listed in the menu here and look through the services there and see something that appeals to you. No. See, that's the kind of objection that I'm talking about. It's not overcrowded. It's not oversaturated. If you want to make it happen, if there's any business anywhere in the world that needs social media management, it's not oversaturated. You're just going to have to work harder. So anyhow, go over to legit.com and just look through the categories, look at what some people are offering, see what appeals to you, and pick one or two. So that's legit.com. I'll go ahead and throw that in the comments as well, because I want to, and something I've noticed that I've been doing wrong is assuming that everybody watching this knows who and what I am and what I do. Obviously the guy who's henpecked by his wife up there didn't know, so visit legit.com and figure it out from there. Moving right along, you need a way for people to pay you. Don't spend a lot of time thinking about this one. I know it might seem a little bit intimidating at first, but it's really, really easy to get up to accept payments now. You can use PayPal, Stripe, or QuickBooks Online and be set up in a matter of minutes to start getting money. Again, this is one of the things where it's like, it's such an easy step, I almost didn't list it, but you need to do this because you don't want to get somebody to say yes and then like have no way to accept the payment. You know what I mean? Can you write me a check or something? So be ready to, those can all be ready to take payments in an hour or so, maybe less. So check those out. I'm not going to go into details on those. I'm sure you can use your brain and use Google and figure out how to do it. Next up is know-how. If you already know how to do the thing you plan to sell, that's great. If not, then you're going to have to either figure out how to do it yourself or get somebody that knows how to do it, or both. And I actually recommend both. You should be learning in your spare time or while you're making your calls or whatever you're doing. But you should also have somebody ready to go if you get a yes on one of your first pieces of outreach. That's why I gave, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name, but that's why I gave multiple options. So, and if those three don't work for you, just find one that works in your country. I don't know every processor that's available in every country, unfortunately. If you need someone to handle fulfillment, again, head over to legit.com and look at some of the services and talk to some people that offer what you want to offer. And you can go through the different categories here. I've highlighted that for you. And talk to them, look at their services, and then that can help you get an idea on pricing as well. So if you need someone to handle fulfillment for you, go over to Legit and figure out who the best people for it. And if you need help with that, message our support team and they will talk to you. They will help you find somebody. If you need to learn it yourself, Legit has you covered there too. You can go up to courses right here in the menu and then choose digital marketing or any of the others if you want, and just find a course that works for what you need. If you need to know how to do Facebook ads or Instagram traffic, this guy Social Genius will hook you up. Looks like if you want to learn how to do keywords, keyword research, or AI copywriting, I've taken this AI copywriting course from my friend Carlos. He's very good, so check that one out. Or you can go up to this one in keyword research, and there's a bunch more. I just grabbed one screenshot. But if you need to learn how to do the thing you're offering still, and you should be doing this regardless. You need to get at least to a level where you can manage, like you can talk about it with intelligence. So you need to be learning it if you don't know how to already do that. So check out legit.com/courses for that. So who you want to sell to. Don't spend a lot of time thinking about this at the beginning. Later on, you can go and refocus your agency to target a specific niche or industry or type of person or whatever. And we have talked about that a little bit in the past. We'll do a niche finding webinar soon. But pick a niche or an industry and just go for it. And then pick a location. So you picked roofers and you picked Florida. Not to be insensitive, but that's probably something they're going to need. So now you search Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. for as much info as possible, including their name, their website, what they need. If you can find a person's name, that'd be great. A phone number, an email, and all that stuff. So you can build up a prospecting list. I have a video that I'll link to in the description of this where I showed you how to build a prospecting list, and then I'm going to show you another way in just a second. But so get that prospecting list built and get going. You know what I mean? Just pick a niche, pick an industry, pick a location, and get to work finding out as much information about them as you can. And if you want to speed that up, you can use a software like Legit Leads, where you can just put in the location, the niche, and what you want to offer, and click search, and it'll find the leads for you. It's done on autopilot. It's super cheap. Just check it out at legitleads.com if you want to speed up the process of building a prospecting list for your outreach. Lahiru says, try selling different services, and self-marketing will bring at least one person who wants it. It's always working for me. There you go. Now, congratulations. You now have everything you need to get started. That wasn't so painful, right? We just picked who we were going to sell to, we picked what we were going to sell, and we set up a payment processor, and we got a phone, a computer, and internet. And now we're ready to start selling to businesses, right? Now I know that you have to figure out the different pieces of how all these different things work, and I have resources for all of that, but that's it. See how quickly that was? You can really, if you really pushed it, you could have all of that done in a single day. Now, what's next? And when I say what's next, I want to give you a big fat warning. A lot of you are going to be tempted to go to do all of these steps first before you get started as well. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to do everything that we've talked about up until this point before you do anything else that we talk about today. Because if you do this, you're going to start finding more and more things to pile on the list, and you're never going to get started. You're just going to plan and plan and plan and plan and prepare and prepare and prepare and prepare, and you're never going to do anything, and I don't want that for you. So get started now before you do any of what's next. But now we're going to talk about what you should have everything we talked about so far done in the first 3 to 7 days, preferably the first 3. And then you can spend the rest of the 27 days doing the next steps. The first thing you're going to need is a CRM, a customer resource management, or something like that. I forget. I'm terrible with acronyms, but I recommend Go High Level. It has a lot of flexibility and a lot of options that will handle all of that for you, and a lot of other things that we'll talk about in future videos. And it's a great tool that I use in my business, and I'm a brand ambassador for them as well. So check them out at superstarseo.com/GHL to sign up for that. But that's what I recommend for a CRM is Go High Level. Whew. Now, the next things, work on these and have them done by the first 30 days, but not until you've done the first things that we talked about. But you will absolutely need to get these done in the first 30 days if you want to get yourself going and get that Jumpstart started. So you need a website, and I'll have a video linked in the comments on this, not the comments, in the description on how you can get started with that really quickly for about $20 through GoDaddy. But you can also hire someone on Legit to do that for you, to design it, to set it up, whatever. There are lots of guys that offer that and can have it done pretty quickly. So that same goes for logos and other graphics, cover photos, that sort of thing. Get all that done on Legit or do it yourself. If you have those kinds of skills, I prefer you do it on Legit because I make money that way, and also because it's the more time you're trading your time for money, and I'd rather you use your money than your time. Social media profiles, same concept: Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, what else? TikTok. You get the point. Create all of those branded to the business. I guess I should have listed pick a name for your business. So we'll do that one next. Brand all those to your business and have them out there and make a few posts just so it looks like you're a real business when people start researching you, and they will. Pick a name for your business, which I forgot to list here. Just go to, I think it's like Shopify.com name generator. I forget the tool, but figure that out. Don't put too much thought into it. Mine is Superstar SEO, and I picked that because in wrestling they call wrestlers superstars, and I was a big wrestling fan. That's literally, I put 10 seconds of thought into it, 10 years ago. Legal company setup. You might be tempted to do this before you do anything. Don't. You need to make sure that it's going to work before you do that, because there's really no regulation for that, at least in the United States. So, but once you get going, you are going to want to do that. And I do suggest you just go ahead and get that going once you've committed to this. Just use a service like LegalZoom, or you can do it yourself if you know how to do that sort of thing. LegalZoom makes it really, really easy. So check them out. A Google Business profile if you have a valid address. Don't set up it at something that's not going to last, whether it's like a mailbox or your apartment or whatever. Use a valid. If you have a valid address, get a Google Business profile set up. If not, then you can't really. But anyway, a call forwarding service like Twilio or Callfire. I recommend these so you have a business line and that you can give out on your business cards and stuff like that, which I think I forgot to put those on there as well. And you only need those if you're going to do in person. But anyway, that way you have a number that's not your personal cell phone number, and those are really, really cheap. I think Google Voice is another option. But that'll also let you know how to answer the phone. And what I mean by that is you can get a thing called, I think it's called a whisper, where it'll tell you incoming call from such and such a number, and then you can answer it, hello, my marketing company, this is Chris, as opposed to, hey, what's up? Assuming that's how you answer the phone. So that's a cheap thing you can do. A project management tool, I like FreeCamp and really recommend it. Georgie and I have been using it since 2016. But there's others. There's Monday, there's ClickUp, there's Asana. You get the picture. Pick one. Don't spend a lot of time thinking about it, and just use it. It'll help you keep track of. Excuse me. It'll help you keep track of where you are on projects and stuff like that, because you will get lost. Trust me. And a scheduling tool like Calendly, so you can, if you have people that want to book a call with you, you have a way for them to do it. So don't. This is kind of off topic, but don't Calendly slap people. In other words, if they show interest, don't just go, here, book a call with me. I hate that shit. So do most other people, so don't do that. But Calendly. Kyle says, always been sketchy to use the call forwarding on my GBP or my website since it messes with an app. I use it for ads only currently. Yeah, I have heard some people say that. That's a what do you call it? A risk tolerance you're going to have to take, and to decide on your own. But that is a valid point, so thank you for bringing that up. Anise says wrestling, the Big Show or Brock Lesnar. Yeah. At the time they were both there. Yeah. I once had somebody tell me I look like Brock Lesnar, but I don't see it because I'm not the Beast. Whew, let me catch my breath. Optional. These are things you can use if you absolutely must, but not before everything else is done. And only if you have a unique situation where you absolutely have to have it. Maybe you have a lot of kids in your house or something and you don't have a quiet place to do it, whatever it is. Maybe you get an office. You can get a virtual assistant if you want to help you set appointments or just do general other tasks, but I don't want you to do either of these things until you get everything else done and you find that you absolutely have to have them for some reason, because you just really don't need these things. I was in year 3, I think, before I had an office, and even now I never go to my office, which is kind of a waste of money, but it is what it is. But those are a couple of extra optional things. So now what? So that brings us to the next section that I forgot to put in the outline at the beginning, and that's now what? We've done everything right. So, we've gotten set up. We've got the things we need to make calls. We've got the list of people. We know how to do that. We're learning how to fulfill. We're learning how to get fulfillment done. We have all the software in place. And so now what? And this is the part where I'm going to get a little harsh again. So I apologize in advance for that. But get to work is what you do now. So now you've got everything done. You should have this done within the first 7 days or so. You need to now get to work. So pick 2 channels that you want to contact the people on your prospecting list on. And that's, it could be telephone, doing cold calling, people in your phone, you can call them, you never know. Email, you can do cold emailing and strategically reach out to people. You do in-person events, whether it's meetups, whether it's B&Is, whether it's chambers of commerce, those sorts of things. I'm personally not a fan of those, but I know they work for other people. Social media DM, you can find businesses that may need help and just straight up send them a DM and ask them. Door knocking. Don't be ashamed to go to a business itself and walk right in there. Or, I don't really know what niche you would need to do that at homes for, but whatever. Literally just post on your own social media and ask if anybody needs help. Excuse me. It sounds dumb, but a lot of people just don't do that. So just go, hey, I'm starting this thing, and I could use some people to help me get started, and I'd be happy to do it for a low price in exchange for, using you as a case study. And once I get you success, there you go. Literally post on your social media. I recommend you do all of these, but at least pick two, whether it's phone, whether it's email, whatever. But pick two of them and go all in on those. The good thing is you can do phone and email at the same time type of thing, or phone and social media. So let me grab some water. Anise says, following your instructions to make team/agency, which you guided me in your 101 free session with you back in 2022. Soon we'll share the results with you. Awesome. I look forward to seeing that. Now, this is what a day will look like for you. And this is where I'm going to lose a lot of you because it's going to require you to work hard. And I know that sucks, but if you want to achieve the unthinkable, you have to be willing to do the unthinkable. So what I want you to do is get up at 4:45 a.m. and be at work by 5 a.m. If you have to drive somewhere, add a little bit more time. But from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m., I want you to get your prospecting lists organized, review your schedule for any meetings you've already planned for that day, do any fulfillment work you need to do that for the people that you've already signed, and do any of that sort of thing and get that ready to go. Then from 8 a.m. in Eastern time, wherever you are, just figure out where Eastern time is and be awake at that time instead. Start your outreach to those businesses during their business hours. Do that nonstop from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. I know that sucks. I know that's 9 hours, but you can make a lot of calls, a lot of emails, a lot of DMs, a lot of everything else in those 9 hours if you just put your head down and do the work. And then from 5 p.m. Eastern until 8 p.m. Eastern, you reach out to Pacific time zone businesses. And if you want to get fancy, you can work in Mountain and Central time as well. But work with that way you're taking advantage of the fact that it's not 5 p.m. for everybody and you get that many more calls in. Most people will stop at 5 p.m. Eastern because it's 5 p.m. and businesses it's not really productive to do calling after that time. So what you are going to do, because you're willing to do the unthinkable, is keep calling those people and keep emailing those people and keep going after those people after 5 p.m. in the time zones where it's not after 5 p.m. So grind at that. That's a lot of work, but it's going to work. That's 12 hours of nonstop outreach, and don't contact less than 150 people in that time. Set a goal of like 200, and don't accept do not stop until you've done at least 150 pieces of outreach. Eat at your desk. If you have to, the only reason you stop is to go to the bathroom or any that sort of thing. But eat at your desk. Do not stop. Do not take a break. Do not do anything until you get this done. And to do that every single day until you have all of the must-haves we mentioned earlier today ready. Or as soon as you have them ready. Can I invest money for buy legit share? No, we are currently not taking on investors. If it took you 7 days to do the must-haves, and you should have them done in 3, but I'm going to say 7, then you have around 23 days left in the month. And yeah, you're working weekends too. Like this is not the time to take days off. You're going to eventually be able to do that. And I don't want you to think you're going to have to do this forever, but for now you're working every day to make this happen for yourself because that's what you deserve. That's 23 days times 1,500 prospects, which comes out to 3,450 businesses contacted in a month. And let's just say 3,000 because some people talk longer or whatever. Let's just say 3,000 because the math is easier. If you get a yes from 0.1% of those, and I think I did my math right on that. If not, then laugh at me. But you get the idea. You have your first 3 clients. That's a ton of work, right? Like you just had to grind for an entire month. But think about it's August 30th. Think about what you were doing on July 31st. Does that seem that long ago? It's not. So it's going to suck for a while, but then it'll be over quickly. and you can kind of build a bit more of a life into it. But for these first 30 days, I want you to get it done and work this hard and put in this much effort and do this much work to get this goal that you claim that you want. And like I say, congrats, you now own a digital marketing agency and you did it in 30 days. You have 3 clients, or at least 3 people that you're getting ready to be clients. You've set up everything. You've got all the tools, you've got all the fulfillment partners lined up, you've got the training, and you are ready to go. Now, you're going to be exhausted, and I get that, but living is not for the weak. That's another quote from Arrow, by the way. That one was from Anatoly Knyazev. So Giovanni says, if you can't get conversions doing this, you're not doing it. Yeah, exactly. And you might be better at sales than that. I was just giving like the bottom of the barrel number. So congrats, you now own a digital marketing agency. It's a lot of work and it's not going to go perfectly. I know I gave a lot of best case scenarios and that sort of thing. But this is what it's going to take to make it work, right? You won't have to work at this pace forever because that's not sustainable and that's not the point of running a business. But to get from where you aren't to where you want to be as fast as possible and to really feel that fire that you have to make this work, you're going to need to put in this kind of effort to make it happen and to make it feel better when you get it done. So I don't want this to come off as hustle porn or anything like that, and God forbid I get this video monetized, but I want you to understand that you don't have to work at this pace forever, but you do have to work at this pace to get this done that way. Paul says, what do you use for sending email, Chris? I'm learning more about warming up email domains, and I'm using a couple different tools thanks to a guy on our team. And then just for as far as setting up flows and sequences and stuff, I like to Mailshake. So my friend here says, never give up. If you don't put it this kind of, like I said, if you don't put this kind of pressure on yourself, you're never going to get started. That's really why I'm stressing this so heavily, is that I want you to get started, because that's the thing that people fail at the most, is that they never start in the first place. And I don't want that to be you. If you're watching this, you have taken the time to give me some of your time, and I appreciate that, and I want you to succeed. So I want you to put this kind of pressure on yourself that you have to get this done, or you're not going to eat. Your kids aren't going to eat. Your house is going to get taken. Your car's going to get repoed. Your student, well, I can't really do crap with your student loan debts, but you get the point that the world is going to explode if you don't get this done. That's how much pressure you need to feel to get this done, and it'll force you to follow this roadmap and get this done in 30 days. If you don't put this kind of pressure on yourself, you're not going to start. You're not going to fail fast enough and figure out what doesn't work and figure out what doesn't work and figure out what doesn't work until you do figure out what does work. So make sure that you put this in. Cedric, what is your advice to start a B2B startup sales agency owner like me? Just do the stuff that I've talked about here, especially the outreach. Giovanni says, thanks for putting this out. I'm about to hit my 3-year mark and looking to grow. My man, I have no doubt from the things you've said in the stream that you have what it takes. So I look forward to seeing you succeed. Do not let the fear or the excuses stop you. I know it's change is hard. I am not as risk averse as a lot of people. I have taken the plunge twice when I had a good paying job to go do something that I wanted to do more. And it was horrifying. And one time you could argue that it didn't work out. It depends on how you look at it, but this one has worked out gloriously for me, and it can for you too if you just do the work and put in the effort and do it. So if you want this, go do it. If you don't want it, and if you don't do it, that means you don't want it. So stop saying that you want it. But if you want this, you can do it, so just go do it. Don't let the fear stop you. Don't let your friends, your family, your kids, your self-limiting beliefs, don't let anything get in your way until you get what you want. So it is August 30th. Anybody that is watching this that is wanting to do this, I challenge you to have it done by October 1st. That gives you 31 and a half days to get this done, which is more than I made it, because 30 is a better number for clickbait purposes, but 31 and a half days to get this done. And you notice how I'm not even counting today as being over? it's Eastern is 5 p.m. That's still another 3 hours of calling, or if you aren't to that stage yet, start doing the other stuff tonight while you're watching TV or whatever. So you have 31 days to get this done. So let me know in the chat if anybody plans to make this happen for themselves by October 1st. Just let me know, say me or say October 1st or yeah or whatever. So my friend here says thank you. Anise says sure will do. Let me get some water and then we're going to wrap up and take some questions. Shannon says challenge accepted. I forgot to show this on Instagram. That's a bummer. Let me go ahead and do that. Yeah, screw it. Giovanni says, let's go. My friend says, I will try to join every video. All right. So that's what I got for you today. Does anybody have any questions on that? Did you enjoy that? Do you think I'm full of shit? Both. What can I do? We got about 9 minutes left, so I'm happy to take any questions or cover anything that you have, you need any clarification on or anything like that. And I would love to know if you enjoyed it. So let me know. My friend here says yes, and I apologize that I keep calling my friend. I don't know how to pronounce your name. But let me see if I missed any over on Facebook. I doubt I did, but you never know. Keith. I think it's just Keith. Okay. Yep, nothing there. All right, I will give it another minute or two. If I don't hear any, I wouldn't hear them. If I don't get any more questions, I will wrap this up. I gotta say, this has been had some of the highest retention of any stream I've done in a while. No, I'm not. We've already covered that, man. You can sign up for Legit Plus if you want that. I don't want you sitting there obsessing over that sort of stuff. Anyway, I want you making good services that look good and help our customers. Maddie, what's up, Maddie? Maddie says, Chris for president, we're back, baby. I don't know about all that, but I do have some qualifications in that arena. I'll just leave it at that. But I'm so much of a smart ass, I wouldn't last a day as a candidate. So yeah, I just did a self-limiting belief. Maybe if I didn't think that, I would be running for something right now. Not president, but something. So even I still have to work on these things too. Joseph says, great content, stressing on the most important thing, getting started. Love that. Well, then you already have it. Just go to Legit and click analytics. I think it's like legit.com/analytics or something. If you want to just type it in. But you already have that then. I forget where it is, but it's somewhere. Yeah, under the selling menu, just click analytics. Come on, man. Joseph says, great content, stressing on the most important thing, getting started. Love that. Thank you, Joseph. Always a pleasure. Shaq Diesel says, lots of motivations. Yes, sir. Thank you, Shaq. Ooh, it must be really late for you too, man. Thank you for being here. You are one of a kind. Got about 5 minutes left, so we will keep it going until then. I need to link, and this is just for future me to remember, but I need to link in the description the how to start an agency for $20 and how to build a prospecting list videos. When will your next will be coming up? When will your... I guess you mean the next live stream. I don't know. I usually do these on Friday, but I don't know. I'll try to get one more video or live stream out this week. We'll see how it goes. So, yeah. Alright, got about 4 minutes left. So any last minute questions or you need me to recap or anything like that, Great retention on this stream, for real. Usually, like, it's dying off by now, but it's not. Lahiru says this live stream will change lots of people's lives. If they do the work, it will. Anis, a suggestion to publish a specific criteria for level 1, level 2. Yeah, you know, at level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, that needs to be revamped altogether. It doesn't work that well. So, I'm not really a fan of those sorts of things, but customers do like them, and I guess freelancers do too. So, I do agree that needs to be redone, but right now it doesn't work that well. So, I apologize. Giovanni says, I don't know if it matters, but when prospecting, is it important to know a company's annual revenue? I don't think so. I mean, you want to think about if they have the money to pay for it. You know, if you don't want to just go pick like a yarn store or something like that. I don't know, yarn stores are lucrative, but I don't think you need the specific number, but I think you need to use just a little bit of, maybe research or just a little common sense to know if leads are worth it to them. You know what I mean? Because like for a roofing job, one lead is worth a lot of money, so they can pay a lot of money, or a lawyer or whatever. But if it's for like a pizza restaurant, maybe it's not. So I don't think you need the number. I think you just need to, think about it a little bit. Adrian, great tip. Adrian says, I think Wave Apps is still free for collecting payments and it lets you send invoices. I haven't used that. I have heard of it, but that's a great tip. So thank you, Adrian. Like I just said, the leveling system needs some work. I don't really know. Giovanni says, thanks for clarifying. Thank you. I'm also going to turn this video into a course on Legit Courses and make it free for everybody too. So be on the lookout for that soon too. All right, we got less than 3 minutes left, less than 2 minutes left, because I have like something to say at the end. And then we're going to call it a day. This was a great stream. It was impromptu. We had a good turnout and really, really good retention, which is it's great to see. That means that people are interested in it and that I did a good job of keeping you engaged, which is important to me. Not just because it helps my channel, although it does, and I appreciate that, but because, it's, I hope that I don't want to do something and people find it useless. You know what I mean? So, all right, I think that's going to be good enough. Let's call it a day. Let me get back on camera. And let me get to where you can see my branded merch and all the toys behind me, like that guy earlier said. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. This was a lot of fun. I think it was very educational. I hope it was helpful. I look forward to seeing some of you having this done by October 1st. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me, or you can get a hold of us on legit.com if you need help there. Artie says, as graphic designers, is it possible to start a digital marketing agency? Absolutely, yes. People will pay top dollar for really good graphic designers, so yes, it is. I think if you have that skill set, you should absolutely go for it. So, all right, guys. Like I said, you could have been anywhere in the world, and you were here with me, and I will always appreciate that. If you want to subscribe, that'd be great. If you're assuming you're watching on YouTube, if not, that's fine too. Otherwise, figure out what you want out of life and go out and get it, because you owe it to yourself and you owe it to the world. I'll see you again soon. Peace.